Good morning. It is Wednesday, December 13th, 2017, 9 o'clock. We're in the Senator Hearing Room for a weekly Board of Commissioners meeting. We start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, so please join. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, thank you.
So, if you'll go ahead and move to your side.
Oh, I like to just encroach.
Our first item always is public comment. We do have someone signed up this morning. Josh Lair is here to talk about a program here in the Salem, Marion County area. Josh, are you here? If you just come up to the side and introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like to. Yep.
Good morning.
If you'd sit close so the microphone can pick things up, but
You want us to sit, sir?
if you can. Or pass it around a little bit.
Good morning. My name's Josh Lair.
I'm Matt Massera.
That's Justin Mack. And Stephen Hill. We're Be Bold Street Ministries. We are a ministry, street ministry here locally in Marion County. The reason why we're doing what we're doing is because we do care about the people here in Marion County. We care about the homeless population. We care because Christ first loved us, and so because of that, we are giving back. In 2012, Marion County was a huge part of my life with the SOAR program, something with the reentry initiative, something you guys are very familiar with. And in that program, it gave me a second chance at life. And I was right here downtown at the Union Gospel Mission per my parole officer. And during that time, I got to see and be a part of what it was like to be homeless. And I had people that were willing to help me. And in that, I saw what it was like to have nothing and need help. And Marion County has a lot to offer, and we, as a ministry, would like to be able to be a part of giving back, and that's what we're doing every day. Every day there is somebody from our ministry out there in the streets doing something to give back. And the person here to my right is Matt Massera, and he is actually the founder and the president of Be Bold Street Ministries.
Yeah, the Lord ultimately saved us from the streets and sent us back. We're reaching out to those who most of society has written off, that have been called worthless, unreachable, lost causes, hopeless, and unlovable. And the Lord didn't say any of those things. What he said was that he doesn't wish to see any perish, but for all to come to repentance. And we want to see them become productive members of society again, just like we were. We were on the streets. And what's taken place in our lives and what we're watching take place in the lives of those who are on the streets, gang affected, drug affected, we're watching a heart transformation, not behavior modification, because anybody can change for a period of time. But what we're seeing take place is the Lord rescue people from the lives that they've lived most of their lives. Whatever the reason or the circumstances is behind that, we don't take those into consideration. We realize that every person is valuable, they matter, and they're worthwhile, and that we're showing up with the love of Jesus Christ. And we've seen multiple people be rescued from the streets within the last 2 years. We interact with anywhere from 50, and during the summer, it can be up to 180 different people on a daily basis as we're doing outreach at Marion Park, at the different homeless camps throughout the city, off from Lancaster, South Commercial, Wallace Marine Park. And we're seeing the Lord rescue people from lives of devastation and give them new lives as they get plugged back into society. So they're no longer on the outskirts. And we're just following the example that was left us in the year 30 as Jesus was going to the outcasts and the outcast within their own communities.
So we're proof that it works. Because in 2012, I was a huge cost to Marion County, to the state of Oregon. For many years, I was addicted to drugs. I was committing crime. I was doing things that were a cost to this community. And today I have the opportunity, as well as with these gentlemen, and many more that are a part of our ministry that get to give back. And we are able to encourage these people to utilize the resources really that are already there. When we're out, we're able to encourage people and share our testimony of what it was like for us and how we came out on the other side. And in that process, we're able to direct people to programs such as the Union Gospel Mission, their program, Marion County ITRS. If somebody comes to us and tells us they're having a substance abuse problem and they need help, Bridgeway Recovery Services, Marion County, many other resources that there already is in place. But we get it. We're not going down there acting like we know something that we're not familiar with. We're very familiar with it, and we're living proof that it works.
Yeah, that God can do anything. And we're also partnering with the UGM for their Christmas event on the 23rd of this month to be able to share with those who are in the midst of real suffering need, to be able to show up with gifts, and other people have partnered with us. Dutch Brothers is going to come in, bring coffee and cocoa, and then a good friend also that goes to our church, they're going to bring in candy from the Candy Fix, and we're just going to be able to share some time with these folks as we interact with them, and that those relationships are started. And in that, being able to direct them, for those who are just guests, trying to get them to plug into the New Life Fellowship program, and or with getting people plugged into the Samanka House, different programs that we have here in Salem, to help them get the resources and get the abilities. And it's all, for us, it's all centered on Jesus Christ, that the life that he has in store for them is one of abundant life, and which is the opposite of what a lot of these folks are living in right now.
And I don't know about you guys, but this morning I woke up in a beautiful home with the heater turned on to 70 degrees, warm water to get into the shower so that I could shave and be cleaned up so that I can come here. There's a lot of people in this community and communities throughout the United States, throughout the world, that don't have the same privileges that I have. I was lucky. I was able to utilize some resources here in Marion County that helped me go down the right path. And Christ intervened for me in 2010 at Oregon State Penitentiary, and has changed my life in such a way that I have the luxuries that I have today. Yesterday, we went out and we handed out over 70 blankets and 50 sweatshirts to people that are out in this temperature. I woke up this morning just like you guys, and it's 25 to 29 degrees outside. That's cold. And these people are living in tents and tarps. Some of them, maybe it's by their own choosing, by things that they've made choices in their life that have put them in the position that they're in, but they're still people. Just like I was affected by drugs and alcohol by my own doing, I put myself in that position, but somebody said that I mattered, and they reached out and they helped me, and because of that, I no longer am a cost on this society, and neither are these men that are here with me. We're here to try to help, just like you guys. You guys have some wonderful initiatives and some wonderful things that you guys have coming up that are there, and we just want to be a part. We want to share the love of Jesus Christ that was shared with us, that changed our lives. And we're thankful. We're thankful for what you're doing. I've listened to some of you, Mr. Cameron, some of the things that you have, that you've said, that I've heard you say, matter. And we just want to be able to continue to show these people out there and the people of this community that they do matter. So we thank you guys for all that you guys are doing as well.
All right. Before you go, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you. And Josh, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you, brother.
Wow, I don't know what I was going to say. I was just thinking about something here. Well, yesterday in our Public Safety Coordinating Council, that's what I was thinking about. And you guys, your team could probably be a big help on this. We're starting a new initiative. Commissioner Carlson, who's ill, that's why she's not here today, but and our district attorney and our sheriff's office are starting this new program. It's out of Seattle. It's called LEAD, Law Enforcement, basically diversion and giving police officers on the street the option. People would have a warrant. They may be under the influence of drugs. pulling all the resources together to give those people, when they're asking for help, to give those people that option, not having to take them to jail. And in fact, I did a ride-along, I don't know, this last year with Sergeant Hickam, and we ran into a lady in an alley that she had a warrant, and he had to take her to jail. And I asked him yesterday, he was in this meeting, if this program was in place, then would you have been able to help her because she wanted to get help? And he said, absolutely, I wouldn't have taken her to jail. I would have gotten her into these resources to places where that she should be surrounded with people who care and love her, and hopefully help her with her addiction. So there's some real opportunities, not only what you're doing within your ministry, but also within other programs that are going on, because I know that all lives matter.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it from a whole different view than some people look at it from. And really appreciate you coming here and giving your testimony. And the work that you're doing is amazing. And this is a great time of year to be here. So Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Josh, thank you. It's inspiring story. You may be interested to know our first action item today is, and I assume we'll approve it, is Marion County contributing for a homeless coordinator here in this area. And I know it's not the answer, but it's a step in the right direction, trying to find people services and help.
Yep.
And one more light thing, you didn't introduce one youngster here that got my attention.
Does he want to say something? Be on the
Thank
camera?
you. All right, so thanks for coming in
Come up
and
and
good
be on the
luck.
camera. You should come up and say hi, and then you can be on the camera and you can look at yourself on YouTube or Facebook.
Introduce Andrew too.
There he is.
There we go.
Thank you. Anyway, good luck in your ministry. And
Thank you. And we have somebody else. We have Andrew Gogger here with us too, as a part of our ministry.
Yeah, I'm a UGM program graduate who now tries to connect with people in the program or potentially considering the program and encourage them and help them to understand what they're getting into and how, if they embrace it, it can really change their lives.
One last thing, Mr. Chair, and I know UGM is working on a capital project to build a new building, and we're really, I know I was meeting with Dick Withnell the other day, who's really trying to help behind that, and there's a lot of people in the community, so we'll be looking forward to seeing that progress as you move forward.
Yes.
So.
Thank you again so much, and Merry Christmas, gentlemen.
thank you. Well, our next item is one I look forward to every year. It's a presentation having to do with our student recycled art calendar awards. I saw Griselda Page and Ellen Pennington maybe here somewhere. Griselda, if you're ready, if you'll lead it off. And I met a young man named Zan, so I'm watching for his pictures.
Yes, good morning. My name is Griselda Puga. I'm a waste reduction coordinator for Marion County. And today I'm here to present the winners for the art calendar. But first of all, I would like to thank the commissioners, the parents, and the teachers who have made the time to recognize this year's art calendar winners. I'd also like to thank Mid-Valley Garbage and Recycling Association, which represents the 8 garbage haulers in Marion County, not only for the great service they provide, but also for partnering up with Marion County Environmental Services to produce this year's art calendar. In the spring, students throughout Marion County started submitting their illustrations that addressed this year's theme, which was repair and reuse. We felt that this theme was an excellent way to encourage students to think about waste prevention. When we repair and reuse the items we already have, we are reducing the need to produce new items. This cycle of repair and reuse is a great environmental and personal produces great environmental and personal benefits. When we repair, we gain new skills and also a sense of accomplishment, which we want to encourage students to always empower them to feel, good about the things that they're repairing and reusing. Through the calendar, we also were challenging students to think creatively about repairing and reusing everyday items. For this year's contest, we also decided to recognize the educator whose student was chosen as the grand prize winner. We understand that teachers play a crucial role in making this contest a big success. Teachers not only take time out of their busy classroom schedule to allow students to work on their drawings, they also provide the support and encouragement students need to explore their creative abilities. So at this point, I would like to invite the commissioners to come forward so that we can present the awards to and the certificates to the students. So we're first gonna introduce the teacher whose student received the grand prize. But as students come forward, I'm gonna ask that they receive their certificates and their gift cards and then move off to the right-hand side after their picture is taken, to move off to the right-hand side so that later we can all come together and take a group picture. So for this year, Miss Tolan from Sprague High School will be awarded the $500 prize. Ms. Tolan has been teaching at Sprague for 7 years, and the one thing she enjoys about being an art teacher is seeing the students grow in their creative skills. So please, if Ms. Tolan can come forward, let's give her a round of applause. Three of our students will be receiving awards. Yeah, 3 of our students will be receiving awards today. So as we call from the calendar, we're going to start with January. So for the prize of January, Annabelle Hill from Salem Academy. Yes, that's hers. Next is Zan Saeed from Shirley Elementary. Next is Lizzie Stravins from Scotts Mill. Hannah Cruzen from Career Technical Education Center. Brene Ashley from Wright Elementary. Isabella Cruz Martinez from Holman Elementary. Anaya Kindred from Scotts Mill Middle School.
You're from where? Oh, wonderful. And you hate the bridge, don't you?
Kiara Bryant from French Prairie Middle School. Janine Randall from Sprague High School. Juliet Bold from Sprague High School. I hope I pronounced this one correct. Nevaeh Mesa Rojas from Washington Elementary. Nevaeh, okay.
I got some buttons that are missing on a couple of my suits. Would you sew them on?
Next is Inessa Gary from South Salem High School, and Inessa is not here today. Unfortunately, she let us know that she wouldn't be. Yes, if you just can put it on this side. Thank you. Next is Alexis Reeves from Howard Street Charter School. And Alexis is used to this because she's actually won in the past. And last but not least, the grand prize winner for this year's calendar is Savannah Schaefer Barnwell from Sprague High School. So now I'm going to ask the students to come close together so we can take all a picture with the commissioners. The taller students stay in the back.
Just turn in on this side, turn in a little bit, and then you turn in this way.
Do you think there's music layering in?
If you start to sing Pomp and Circumstance or something. You want us to stand up behind them? That'd be
Maybe
super.
like in the middle, maybe the space for you guys to come, if you guys can. Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
would.
perfect, even better. Sorry. You want us back here, Alan? Yeah. Does this work? Think so. We're gonna see Alan at a wedding this Saturday, doing photography. Yeah. I'll make sure I say everybody. All right. Man, I don't know, there's too much handsomeness beauty.
Maybe someone can fix it.
Beauty, I think, but, yeah. Just, wait, my job. Yeah. One more, and parents. Oh, you're. And you can tag Marion County on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll probably put this in an album so folks can.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, if there's anybody has a problem, please let us know before you leave.
Calendars will be available free at our Public Works office. And also, I've put a phone number up on the screen. Feel free to call us, and we can also mail you a copy of the calendar.
All right, I'm going to ask Zan to explain just exactly what he was drawing, because he was explaining it to me beforehand, and I wish you could go back to it, Zelda, but real quick, what were you trying to show in your picture?
An earth dunking with some recyclables, and there's the recyclable thing. I think that was the sun being very enthusiastic about it. Why?
Well, thank you, Zan, that all makes sense now. Again, wish them all thanks, and good job, and thanks to all that have been involved with it.
We have more things, a bag of goodies for you guys, and I'll hand them over at the lobby. So if you guys want to, with your parents, make your way out, and as you're coming out, I'll meet you out there.
That's great, nice job.
Enthusiastic son.
The son, yeah. Enthusiastic son, you gotta love it.
That was a good group. Two good presentations this morning.
All right, I guess we have to go back to work. First item, next item is our consent calendar, about the shortest I've seen. Commissioner Cameron, if you would.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll move our consent calendar. One item, approve amendment number 1 with Garden Services to increase the grounds maintenance services provided for the jail campus and the dog shelter campus.
All right, and I'll second the motion. So it's been moved and seconded to approve our consent calendar this morning. Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 I guess the only thing I would say is we did tour the jail yesterday, and they let us out.
There was some hesitation. All right, so that motion passes. We have 5, I believe, action item 6 this morning. The first we mentioned a little bit a second ago. It's under Board of Commissioners. Consider approval of an intergovernmental agreement with Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, City of Salem, Kaiser, Monmouth, and Independence for $45,000 by Zan to assist with creating a program coordinator position for the Mid-Willamette Homeless Initiative. Lisa Trownick, Ashley Marshall are here, if you would, and I know you're subbing, but I'm not going to ask anything hard, so.
I'm sure she can handle it.
Okay.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioner. Lisa Trowernick, for the record. As you know, last year, 2016, 4 jurisdictions came together and created the Mid-Willamette Homeless Initiative Task Force. That was the cities of Salem and Kaiser and Marion and Polk counties. And the point of the task force was to develop strategies to reduce homelessness in the area, in the Marion and Polk County region. Out of the task force came a strategic plan, and part of that plan was to, as you mentioned earlier, Chair, was to hire a program coordinator to take the plan forward and actually make such the suggested changes in our community. With that, Ashley Marshall was brought on board as an intern as part of her Master's in Social Work program. And for our a few jurisdictions, cities of Salem, Kaiser, Monmouth, Independence, and Marion County would like to pool resources to put together to fund the position for the program coordinator. The Mid-Willamette Council of Governments has offered to participate with office space and administrative support for that position. And we are here today to present the contract to you for Marion County's portion of that. And I'll let Ashley explain a little more about the position.
Sure, thanks, Lisa. So, as Lisa mentioned, I've been working with the board's office as an intern for the last 7 months to sort of bridge the gap between the time that the task force ended and when this position could hopefully come on board. The idea is that the position is carrying forward the strategic plan that was created out of the task force, and those interventions that that task force came up with would serve all of the communities involved, all of Marion County and City of Salem. So the position's really necessary to have a coordinated approach and effort toward tackling homelessness throughout the region. They would be doing a lot of work that spans multiple jurisdictions, which is the reason why it's important for this position to be funded and supported not only by Marion County, by City of Salem, Kaiser, and all of those involved. So some of the things that we're going to be having them do would be coordinating and convening between those multiple jurisdictions, looking to develop resources and analyze the gaps, areas where we need to bring in new resources to address homelessness, facilitating communication across the multiple partners. Data collecting, analysis, and reporting is a huge piece of it. We really lack data far and wide as it relates to our homeless population. So this person would be overseeing the implementation of streamlined data collection and reporting back to those funding partners about the outcomes that are being produced through the homeless initiative. And ongoing evaluation of our efforts and adjusting the plan and the scope as needed to make sure that we're staying current with addressing homelessness.
Great, thank you. Questions, comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I just think that this is a step, like I think you said it the other day, it's a multi-faceted, a lot of things that need to take place. We heard a little bit about it from the group that testified this morning, their little role that they play, big role, I guess, and this and all the work that was done to have somebody carry it on is really important. So I think this is a one-year position that we're trying it out, and it's good that we're doing this. And I just want to recognize Commissioner Carlson and all the work that she's done on this, all the hours that she's put in, and staff, both Lisa and Ashley, for all their work you've done not only on this, but our housing authority and trying to keep up with us, or trying to help us keep up with you, I guess, is what the other way around it would be. So thank you for your work. Appreciate it. You need me to
If you would.
make a motion, Mr. Chair? I'll move that we approve an intergovernmental agreement with Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, cities of Salem, Kaiser, Monmouth, and Independence for $45,000 to assist with creating a program coordinator position for the Mid-Willamette Homeless Initiative.
I'll second the motion. I did have one comment or question. You talked about reporting, Ashley, but to groups, but will we get something? I'm hoping their impressions are things that they find can translate into something that's positive. So I'd like to know that what they learn, we will learn.
Absolutely, yes. So there's a policy committee that's being developed, or the partners may have already been identified. And Marion County will have a representative on that policy committee who the coordinator will report back to. And then I also would imagine that this person would come and actually present to the board from time to time about their efforts.
Wonderful. Anything else? We'll
That's
call a
good.
question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, and thank you both, and good luck to you too.
Thank you.
Our next item is we consider approval of a contract for services with Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency for $344,000 to establish a veterans service office and assist veterans and their families. We have Barb Young, Sharon Blasi, Oregon Department, you're with the Oregon Department of Veteran Affairs. And I've lost my glasses, but now I can see again. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Barb Young, Government Relations Manager for Marion County. Before we get started, I'll have our guests with me today go ahead and introduce themselves as well.
Hi, good morning. For the record, my name is Sharon Blazing. I'm the Assistant Director of Statewide Veteran Services for the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs.
Good morning. My name is Jimmy Jones. I'm the Director of the Arches Project, which is a project run on behalf of the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency.
Great, thank you. With the contract before you today, Marion County is establishing their first County Veteran Services Office. The board began discussions with the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs last May regarding our own Veterans Affairs Office, Veterans Services Office to serve the veterans and families in Marion County. The county applied for and received approval for a grant from the state, from ODVA, in the amount of $344,000, and it's on a reimbursement basis to establish and operate our County Veteran Services Office. Then in September 22nd, Marion County issued a request for proposal to find an organization that could provide these services for our veterans. And we received 5 proposals, and we had an evaluation committee review those, and we came back to a 2 finalists, in which we interviewed. Those 2 finalists came in back with our winner of the evaluation committee, Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency. So again, the full not to exceed amount of the contract is $344,000. The initial contract period goes from June 2nd, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. So it's an 18-month contract, and we will be able to have 5 annual renewals on that contract depending on funding into the future. Our other partner in helping us stand up the Marion County Veterans Service Office is the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs, and I just want to say they've been very instrumental and helpful in planning and preparing for our new responsibility. So I'd like to turn it over to Sharon to talk a little bit about how they're going to help us train the new Veterans Service officers and how they're going to also help provide oversight as we roll out that program.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Barb. Just real quick before I get started, just as a reminder, we serve currently, or we have over 320,000 veterans in the state of Oregon. And right here in Marion County, we have over 24,000. And currently, we have 4,655 who are currently receiving benefits from the federal VA. And that brings into our county, it brings in just under $200 million to the county annually in benefits. And you heard from folks earlier talking about our homeless population. We currently in Marion County, as of the last count, we know that there are about 96 homeless veterans in the county. And we also, our quickest growing population of veterans in Marion County, as it is across the state, is our women's veteran population. And we are currently serving veterans from 5 different wars: World War II, Korea, and then the Vietnam War, which is our largest group of veterans across the state, including in Marion County as well, at about 35% of our veterans. And then also our Gulf War and our current war is our second largest population of veterans that we're serving. So as was mentioned, I'm going to give you just a quick update on how we at the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs intend to support Arches and as they transition into their new role of providing veteran services for Marion County. And I just wanted to say we are super, super excited that the contract is being awarded to Arches. They have been a fantastic partner with us over the years in providing services to our veterans at risk and our homeless veterans. So we're so appreciative to them, and we know that they will be a fantastic partner moving forward in providing these services. And just as a reminder, their role is going to be to help identify veterans in the community and bring them in and help them get signed up for the benefits that they're eligible for. So again, a huge role in the community. So just a quick rundown of the timeline of how we're going to roll this out. Barb mentioned that they will be going through a year-long accreditation process. They'll be accredited by the federal VA, but they will be under our guidance for that year. So prior to January 2018, when they officially start up, just some of the things that we've done to date, we have met both with Marion County staff and with ARCH's staff to talk about the process and go over that. And a huge thank you to Barb and folks, for all their work in this and all their efforts. We also performed a site visit there at the ARCH's, the new facility that I imagine you'll talk a little bit more about. But that was part of the contract between you and them, that we would take a look at the site. We want to make sure that it's welcoming and safe, for veterans, and we do that with all of our counties. And we were able to give some feedback, and we know that's already been incorporated on what the site and the actual office setting and the environment for veterans coming in. We also had the opportunity to take a look at your draft contract, and I would say, as always with Marion County, it was very detailed, very well done, very clear about what the expectations are, what the monitoring is going to be. We really appreciate the level of detail. We also, we provided ARCH's with some examples for their position descriptions, and those went out, I think, about a week ago, for them to recruit and hire 2 veteran service officers, and then also an administrative assistant to help. And that role, that person does a lot of the screening, the initial screening. When folks call in, can maybe direct them, wherever it is, if it needs to actually be a call for the federal VA, or can do the scheduling. So a really key role as well. Let's see. So we are assisting right now with some of the technical setup. There is, there's cloud-based software that they'll be using, so we were able to help. We're able to help with that. The more technical side. We're also providing them with some reference materials. A lot of this is based on federal code specific to VA benefits. And then, we will be providing some training with regards to the monitoring requirements, so the reporting for the dollars coming from ODVA. And then the other thing that we would like to do, if we can, prior to January, or possibly after they bring staff on board, is we want to take them up to the Portland VA and introduce them to staff up there, as well as our Oregon VA staff up there who actually process the claims. We think it would be great for them to meet those folks. And then in January, after the contract is signed, or when the contract is signed, we are going to be hosting training at ODVA, and it is our basic training for VSOs, our veteran service officers. So we'll be providing training for their staff, if that's needed, and including their administrative staff on how to process claims, how to meet with veterans, everything that goes into filing a claim for a veteran. And if the timing of that doesn't work out, we've made a commitment that we will provide the training at any point in time when they have staff on board. And that is a required training. And then what we're going to be doing is we are actually going to be doing job shadowing for their staff on site, on our site, so that their staff will come in, they'll observe, they'll participate, but we'll do it at our office so that folks can see kind of how it lays out. How do you actually bring a veteran in? And then February, March, we will transition some of the appointments over to their site, but we will still be there working with them. So this is our staff that are currently doing claims work here in Marion County. Again, we are, 100% committed to making this a smooth transition, so we will work with them on their site as well. And then around the April, May, June timeframe, we also feel it's important to introduce staff to all of the other key players in the community, so the Oregon National Guard, the reintegration team, but we do know that Arch's staff really they already have a well-established, they have well-established contact in the community, but any of that we need to do, let's see. And during that time period, we'll just continue to do some job shadowing, conduct some joint appointments, and then they also have to take a test. So they do take a written test, and that'll help us gauge the level of understanding about filing VA claims. They're pretty technical, and we want them to be done, correctly the first time, so that a veteran, there's not a delay in benefits. And then around the July timeframe, this is 2018, full operation there at the Arches site, and really kind of just the transition into them doing the work. And then by December 2018, that'll be the full year. Their staff will have to take a final exam, and then that's when we at ODVA will certify them and then make the recommendation to the federal VA for their accreditation. So again, this is a one-year process, but we will be right alongside them making sure that it's successful. And during that time, they will be operating, and throughout the life of the contract, they'll always operate under our power of attorney. So which means that we will kind of be monitoring things. We do have the ability to look into the system and kind of monitor how claims are proceeding and things like that. So, but that's our plan for the next year. And again, we're super excited about who the contract is going to, and pledge our full support to helping this be successful in the county. And we just wanted to say thank you to all of you for making this happen. We know this has been a lot of work for you and your staff, but we're so excited that to partner with Marion County and Arches. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jimmy.
Well, good morning. I'm going to do something this morning I don't normally do. I'm going to be pretty brief. And I just want to begin by recognizing three of my colleagues that I'm here with this morning. James Riddle, who's a combat veteran and an integral part of all of the veteran services that we have available at the Arches Project. Linda Strike, who manages all of our veterans programs for us and has done so for some time. And Sarah Webb, who designed and runs the mental health program for our veterans here in Salem and Marion County. On behalf of the Community Action Agency and the Arches Project, I just would like to express my gratitude at us being awarded this particular project, and we appreciate the honor and the privilege and the responsibility that has been handed to us to help to continue to serve Marion County veterans. We have been working with this particular population for more than a decade, and recently, in the last 5 years, we've been able to attract more grants to work with it in a much more deliberate and broader way than we've ever been able to do so in the past. In 2012, we got the SSVF grant from the VA, and in partnership with Easter Seals, has been providing that service to Marion County veterans since that time. Last year, we also got a partnership with Salem Housing Authority and the Oregon Health Authority to run this Veterans Rental Assistance Program, which is a program for veterans with very high mental health needs. And so this is just another opportunity to continue our partnerships with these agencies, and especially with the ODVA in Marion County, and to further develop and extend the services that we are providing to the community and to the veteran population of Marion County. My background is in statistics, and I spent an awful lot of time studying what the homeless situation in particular looks like in the state of Oregon and Marion County and Polk County and the city of Salem. And I could talk for a great length on the nature of this population, but I will say that I think that it is a population that will continue to grow in terms of its need levels as time passes. What we see here in Marion County in particular is that our average veteran is 54 years of age. So that meant that they did their service at the very end of Vietnam, or particularly in the late 1970s and early 1980s. That sort of flies in the face of the common perception that most of our homeless veterans in particular are individuals who did their service in Iraq and Afghanistan. And what we know probably is that we'll have another wave of veteran homelessness and another wave of very high needs veterans who needs benefits and needs access to services as time passes the next 4 to 5 to 10 years. And so I think this particular contract, in addition to our other services, puts us in a great position to be able to help with the veteran community and the needs that that community has here in Marion County. And I am deeply grateful for our partners in supporting us in this endeavor, and deeply grateful to Marion County for entrusting us with this particular work. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions that any of us could answer?
No questions, but
Go ahead.
yeah. Well, thank you for being here, and as you were talking, it's Jimmy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I'm in awe of thinking about those people that have served us, and as we did the Pledge of Allegiance this morning, and to hear everybody in this room saying that out loud, and those people that have defended that and our ability to do that. And I really thank you for what you're doing. This is something that's, I know we're the last county to have our own veteran service officer, but it sounds like to me that the right person, the right group's got the contract, because there's more than just one person here operating. There's a whole, again, services that come around these people and can make a difference. And the challenges that you just said into the future are, it's just one of those things where you just don't want to see that happen, but it's potentially going to happen, and maybe there's some things we can do to head it off in the future to provide, as we heard from earlier, and I don't know how many of those gentlemen were here at the beginning are veterans, but there's so much out there that people are dealing with. So I really appreciate your services and what you're doing, and I know this contract is a little bit that we can do. So, and I'm looking forward to the partnership down the road, and there's going to be some challenges and some changes, but thank you for stepping up and doing it for us.
Thank you.
So,
You want to say anything? You want to just make a motion? Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve a contract for services. That's the wrong one. I checked it off already. Like this, you know what? I was thinking before I say this. I was thinking of these first two. I checked them off, and how positive this is to help certain people in our community. So I'd already checked it off. So let me go back up to number 2 instead of number 3. Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve a contract for services with Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency for $344,000 to establish a veteran service office and assist veterans and their families.
and I'll second it. And quick comment, I wish you to have the greatest luck and provide the services that these people need and more deserve. Anything else? Then I'll call a question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next item's under business services. We consider approval of a contract for services with Regency Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon for, this is a big number, $23,099,480 for renewal of the 2018 employee benefits. Justine Flora.
Good morning. I'm Justine Flora, the Risk and Benefits Manager for Marion County. And you thought you saw the last of me for our open and our renewals, but this I'm actually here to present the contract, the actual contract for services with the Regions contract, which you all saw me the last time to talk about the renewal of the benefits package for employee benefits. This contract represents actually 4 health plan programs. We have the high deductible health plan for the non-MCLEA bargaining and non-represented employees. Then we have the MCLEA health plan as well included in this, and also the non-MCLEA PPO traditional plan, and also an additional program for certain part-time employees who otherwise wouldn't qualify under the regular benefits program, but would trigger certain eligibility qualifications. Any questions?
We've
Done it.
We've done this, we've heard about this, we've studied this. Yeah, I almost read this action item and I saw it, when I got to the 23 million, I'm thinking, no, this isn't for the veterans, although
Maybe I'd
it
rather.
would be nice, right, if we can switch that a little bit. No, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion if you're ready for that.
Yep.
I'd like to approve that I would like to move that we approve a contract for services with Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Oregon for $23,099,480 for the renewal of 2018 employee benefits.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion?
Other than just to say that this is a very large number, and I hope that you know, all our employees really appreciate this benefit that they receive from the taxpayers in Marion County as for their services as employees, and I know they work hard, and this is a really nice benefit to have working here.
Okay. Call
Thank
a
you.
question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very
Now,
much.
are you both staying for the next item too?
I'm going to stay for the next two, actually.
Next two, all right. I'm happy about that, don't get me wrong. The next is consider approval of an order that revises policy number 305 having to do with protected leave. And Jason, Boss, how am I gonna say it?
Boss.
Boss, I was right, I should have just left it. Thank you, Jason, go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Mr. Armstrong as well. My name is Jason Boss. I'm a senior HR analyst for Marion County. And it's my pleasure to present the updates to the Marion County's protected leave policy, which is policy 305. I just want to focus on some of the highlights that we focused on for the policy updates. The main purpose of these updates was in regards to increasing clarification and readability to our employees. We also took care of some areas of redundancy within the policy. We had the opportunity of taking the changes and creating it to more of a holistic approach to our formats on our policies, so it flows better. It's more succinctly, so that if they're looking at other policies in the county, they'll be able to follow along as well. Some of the highlights of our updates is in regards to the Uniform Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act of 1994, otherwise known as USERRA. This was added language to our protected policy. We also added it throughout the policy in reference to the USERRA rights for veterans. Another change that we found was we moved chronic condition language, was also moved under serious health condition. Serious health condition actually is a broader term that covers all those types of definitions. Another change that we also made throughout the document was in regards to section 8.2.1. We updated language and deleted outdated language, and this is in regards to the most recent House Bill 2600, which was passed on 1/1 of 2016. What this encompasses is that OFLA also provides benefits at the same cost if there was a gap in coverage. And what that means is that if an employee was approved for the Family Medical Leave Act, otherwise known as FEMLA, or was not approved for that, but was also approved for OFLA, which is the Oregon Family Leave Act, there was a difference in the price for their health insurance. They would have to pay more of a COBRA premium, which was much higher than the employer portion that we charge now. From that House bill, we were able to close that gap so that the employees will not pay the higher rate. We were following the House bill 2600, which allows them to have the same rate as what we charge our current employees now.
Jason, if I can interrupt you there, and it's not horribly important, but if you, like now, this time of year, there's some choices that can be made by employees. Would those people on leave have that same ability to make make changes or make choices in their plans?
Yes, they would. When somebody's on a protected leave, they're to be treated as if they
That's-
were actively at
that's
work,
what
so
I
they
wanted
have
to
the
know.
open enrollment privileges as well.
Thank you.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Justine. Protected leave is the opportunity for us to allow the employees, as long as they're designated under the leave policy, to be treated as they're still a current employee of the county, and so their benefits are stayed at the same level. And so that's why that protection is provided to our employees. They are, just a side note, they are provided up to 12 weeks, so 480 hours under the protected leave. I also want to bring to light, I do want to thank Justine Flora, our Risk and Benefits Manager, for spearheading the changes and updates to this policy. But we are also including input and questions from our multiple unions throughout the county. So this was a very large collaborative approach. There's various HR staff involved in this as well, and so I want to thank you, to all of those who provided that. Also, I'd like to thank the board for their guidance and help in administering the policies, because the policies really provide a clear guidance and process for our employees to follow in regards to our administration policies. So at this time, I'd open it up to any input or any questions you would like to provide.
Mr. Chair, just a real quick question. You mentioned COBRA, so and the price going down. So if a person that's leaves that's a single coverage, like what would their COBRA cost be? Do we know what that number would be? It depends on the plan, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So the COBRA premiums are the full premium, so the employer and the employee share, which we broke out when we were talking about the renewals, with a 2% administrative fee. So it's 102% of the actual premium. So it would include the portion that the county normally pays.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
No, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve a order revising policy number 305, protected leave.
And I'll second that motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve the order that revises policy 305. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Commissioners.
you're still here, Justine?
I'm still here.
Wonderful. The next item is consider approval of an order that revises the risk management program rules. And Kyle Wonderly has joined us. Kyle, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner Brentano and Commissioner Cameron. My name is Kyle Wonderly, with Loss Control Manager with Risk Management and Business Services, and here this morning to just go over some brief details of the risk management program rules. We are just revised them, and in summary, the risk program rules list the responsibilities for all levels of employees, including department heads and elected officials, down to all employees. Also goes through and lists and summarizes the self-insurance and commercial insurance requirements that we have, and the work that risk and legal does together regarding the insurance, and also when looking at contracts to purchase or regarding the insurance over contracts. The risk program rules also goes into some details as far as the liability claims that we cover, including workers' compensation claims, and as well as the auto insurance that is covered, whether that's the self-insurance for our owned vehicles and leased vehicles, and also any excess insurance when it comes to the liability for personal vehicle use. Just a couple of the updates that we made, most of it was just some minor grammar and language changes, and also updated the format to meet the county's format use, so everything can read similar to other county policies. And then also in section 8.1, we updated the amount that ORS 806.070 was increased for property liability from $10,000 to $20,000. And in that, just want to thank the board for your guys' support for the risk program, and open it up to any input or questions you guys might have.
Just going back to 8.1, just clarifying that, so that the amount was changed. Bodily injury limits are 25,000 for one person and 50,000 for It went from where to where?
The property damage
Property, the
amount
20,000 limit?
was 10,000 and it is now 20,000.
Okay. Got it.
I don't know if you saw that one part where it said if elected officials don't
Yeah, I did.
take risk management's
I did,
advice.
I saw that.
You're on your own.
That's like
Kevin.
on 1.1, isn't it? That's like the first thing, but it doesn't say that I'm personally liable.
Oh, we'll make it that way.
It says, what did it say? I was reading that, Commissioner, Mr. Chair, yeah.
If
It
you're
says-
operating within the scope of your responsibility, the course and scope of your duties, then you fall under the counties. If you go rogue, you're on your own, Commissioner.
So yeah, it's 1211. If an elected official or department head chooses to proceed against Bruce's advice, right? Counsel. Risk manager
Correct.
Kyle's advice, I guess, right? He's the official risk manager, would that be right?
I'm the risk
Justine's
manager. Kyle is the
Okay.
loss control manager.
Okay, so if you tell me I can't do something and Bruce tells me I can't do something, then I put the board's office at risk to be charged for all the,
I think you should just believe him. Let's leave it at that.
okay, I do. We are surrounded with very good people. Even sometimes I call legal department the, sales limitation department, but that's okay.
All right.
All right, Mr. Chair.
Any real questions?
Yes. No. Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve an order revising the risk management program rules.
And I'll second that motion. Anything else? Call a question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Justine, if you'd
I'm
like to
leaving now.
remain, I'm sure you can be
Yeah.
helpful.
This is one of our longer sessions we've had for a while.
All right. Our next item's under health. We consider the intergovernmental agreement with City of Salem for $296,180 to provide after-hour support and follow-up to the mobile crisis services. It says Scott Richards, but it's not, and Anne Marie Banfield. So if you would, Anne Marie.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Anne Marie Banfield, Program Manager for Acute and Forensic Behavioral Health.
And I'm Lieutenant Trevor Upkeys with the Salem Police Department.
Salem has been a primary partner with us as we've done initiated and ongoing mobile crisis services here in Marion County. They originally partnered with us in 2011 when we were doing the crisis outreach response team. And as that rolled into and we were able to expand to mobile crisis services, Salem came alongside of us and were part of our original team starting in 2014, providing mobile crisis services from 7 days a week. They do one half, and Marion County Sheriff's Office does the other half, and they're on the streets between 2 p.m. and midnight every day.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to beat you to it. We like this program, and we think it's really important and does many good things. I don't know how many times I've literally bragged it up, and I know Commissioner Cameron has too. So with that, I know you have some experience. You probably want to relate, but it's a good one.
Yeah, I was in Aurora with a Marion County deputy, and Salem PD rolled up, and mobile crisis unit diffused a situation. People got the resources they needed. Nobody went to jail, and I saw it in action. It's good, and I'm sure it's happening every day.
It is.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Salem for $296,180 to provide after-hour support and follow-up to the mobile crisis services.
all right, I'll second it. So therefore, it's been moved and seconded that we do approve the intergovernmental agreement with City of Salem for mobile crisis services. Any further discussion? Is that enough? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
the program and coming in today to keep it going.
Thank you.
All right, well, there's no public hearing, so we've been through our action items. The last thing to do this morning is to read the places we'll be together in the coming week. I assume Commissioner Carlson will be feeling better and joining. Let's see, I got to start off. On Thursday, tomorrow, the 14th, 7:30 to 8:30 is the Kaiser Marion County meeting. Sherry's Restaurant, 4998 River Road North in Kaiser. This is a monthly meeting we have just to keep in touch with each other and see how we can help. That's followed at 9:30 by a Regional Economic Development Strategy Team Meeting in the North Santiam Conference Room, second floor, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. Next Monday, 8:30 to 9, Calendar Review, Silverton Conference Room, 5th floor, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. Tuesday, the 19th, 9:30 to 11:30, a work session having to do with the Marion County Fair. That'll also be in the Silverton Conference Room. And that's followed at 1:30 by a Marion County Housing Authority Board meeting, again, Silverton Conference Room. And then next Wednesday, our regular board session here in the Senator Hearing Room, first floor, 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem, and of course, that's at 9 o'clock. Anything we missed? We've had quite a morning, caught you singing.
We're getting, yeah, you surprised me there.
Well, the music's in the air, I couldn't
Yeah,
understand it.
and we're getting close. And the calendar goes through December 20th. Yeah, I guess the only thing is, you know, I always think my schedules around the holidays should like kind of
Lighten up.
but it's just going. In fact, I was even looking into next week, going, okay, maybe there's going to be a little bit of afternoon time I can finish up my Christmas shopping, and I'm trying to squeeze that in. Yeah. Actually, I bought a styrofoam ice chest last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well, hopefully my aunt and uncle aren't watching on YouTube.
Do they
but
usually?
Well, I don't think so. They're in Arizona, but I'm going to figure out how to get some of that fresh Chinook salmon. It's in frozen now, but
Fresh frozen.
Fresh frozen salmon, and then some of that smoked salmon that I caught this year down to them for a gift. I was thinking they would probably really appreciate that down in Arizona.
I hope they like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got a busy week ahead of us still.
We've already had a couple of our Christmas parties, went for a, I think I told you about that. It was the most fun I've had in a long time. Took a family on a lit-up wagon.
Right, with
in
Bielenberg?
Yeah.
Does he do you hire him to do that, or is he?
It was
what's
very
his-
reasonable, like $50 or something, and took 12 of us around and.
Really?
and,
Around Sublimity, or?
Yeah, I'd look at the lights, and these horses are amazing. I see them in a pasture going every morning. But
They're
when
big,
you get
are they the big, are they the
huge.
Clydesdales? No, not-
Percheron.
Okay.
But
right.
their hooves, I'm not making this
Right.
up, are like this.
Right. You wouldn't want one of those to step on your foot.
No.
Right.
There's what street is this? I should know it, it's Sublimity. But anyway, it's rather steep coming up, and I was thinking we'd go another way, because.
How many of you were in the wagon?
A dozen.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just.
And
they
who's
just
driving
climbed
the
right up.
wagon?
Tim Bielenberg is.
Tim is. So does he keep those horses over at his dairy?
No, they're in a Tony Hendricks pasture that's nearby in between Sublimity is where he lives.
So he doesn't have to go over the highway to get to Sublimity with the
They
horses.
do come up Star Street and do 3 or 4 trips a night, and no, it was just great fun. I got to do it again.
So how do you get it? Well, we can talk.
You have to make an appointment.
Okay.
But, they worked us in.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it really was. And my 18-month-old granddaughter, I know I've told you this, but she was the most excited of any person I've ever been around. I thought she was upset wanting to get back to Mom. No, she was absolutely that excited and pointing at every bit of street or Christmas lights and everything. It was fun.
That's what I was thinking of my grandkids, 1.5 and 2.5. They would probably love that. I remember doing a sleigh ride in Sun Valley,
that'd be
Idaho,
pretty.
years ago with the family when the girls were younger, and it was just so fun. But,
And then halfway through, this is a nice little touch. They have some people set up in the route, and they provide some hot cocoa. And I got to tell you, it really hit the spot. It was
Yeah.
fun.
That's the
Anyway.
Christmas spirit, Commissioner.
Anyway,
That's great.
It's all good. Anything else
you
this
gonna-
morning? Yeah, Bruce, let's.
What do you got going on?
Yeah, we haven't even used you this morning.
I know. Well, I follow that rule of if you're asked a question and nothing illegal is going on, you keep quiet.
Well, then there's a lot of quiet around here, I hope.
Exactly.
I don't wanna
Although
hear
you had
anything.
me worried when you were talking about you needed guidance on what to stay out of liability or
Yeah, you were
cause
getting-
problems.
he was
We can meet
getting
later.
wound up.
if you
So
want.
yeah. I'm the one that's always raising those flags,
A little bit.
pushing the envelope.
I got plans to fly to see family next week. Going to go back, have a good visit with my folks and siblings, and in-laws and.
I'm sorry
stuff.
if I don't know this, can you say where that is?
It's New Jersey.
Oh goodness, really? All they do is toll people to death in New Jersey. Why would you?
It
wanna
is a
be-
shocker. They sure do. They sure do. But I'm looking forward to that.
All right, I hope it's wonderful.
You flying to Newark?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when I fly back here, I'm gliding in and looking at all that green and mountains, and I'm the happiest guy around.
The gardens from above, that's what I always say. Look down and see those gardens.
The Oregon Garden in particular,
No,
or just
the
gardens?
gardens up in the
Oh,
forest,
I see.
right? Yeah.
Oh, right.
Right.
Oh dear.
Right.
I don't know what we're saying. With that, I'm gonna call this meeting adjourned.